afternoon, viewers of the tube. My name is Tyler of ChicoCrypto.com, and welcome to another episode of Crypto and a Cold One. Today's guest hails from the land of the Big Blue Skies, Big Sky Brewing Company of Montana, Missoula. Today it's Trout Slayer Wheat Ale. Yesterday I think I had the Scapegoat IPA. Oh, that's tasty. And I needed a lot of brews. So, to start off today's episode, I want to go into some NEO news and updates. A shaky weekend on the NEO front. As I talked about yesterday, there was no big announcement. The news was Microsoft was a co-sponsor of the NEO Dev competition. This news was leaked on Friday. Unfortunately, the big news of Microsoft co-sponsoring got overshadowed by the shit show put on by Malcolm and Fred Africa. Again, we are waiting for a response from core members of NEO. I'm looking at you, Daw. Looking at you. Well, there's some other big things that happened on NEO front over the weekend that almost got overshadowed. The NEX white paper was released, and boy does this show the professionalism of the city of Zion and the open source NEO community. I am stunned. Let's dive into this right now. So in the beginning of the white paper, they dive into the two smart contract platforms that NEX will be operating with, NEO and Ethereum. So Ethereum is based on an account mode where users' balances of ETH is stored as a number in the Ethereum virtual machine and can be easily sent and received by smart contract logic. However, NEO and Gas are based on a UTXO model where funds are sent and received through a chain of spent transaction IDs on the network. The white paper dives into the positives and negatives of each platform. In ETH, it's easy for a smart contract to interact with a user's balance, but difficult for a node to prove that the transaction has taken place without syncing the full chain and running the Ethereum virtual machine. In NEO, it is easy for third parties to verify that a transaction has taken place on-chain, but more difficult for smart contracts to interact with a user's NEO or Gas balance. So, the white paper exclaims, for NEO to succeed, smart contracts on NEO need to be programmatically interact with NEO and Gas and other global assets. Their answer to this problem is a payment service layer that converts global assets such as NEO and Gas into another smart contract token, which can easily interact with smart contracts on the NEO network. The other major differences are the way calls are made between smart contracts. In an Ethereum, a smart contract can dynamically call any other smart contract. NEO, however, enforces that all calls between smart contracts be declared statically in advance. Another difference, as most of us know, is the consensus of the two protocols. NEO's DBFT allows for much higher transactional input, up to 1,000 transactions per second currently, while Ethereum uses proof of work, which limits them to 25 transactions per second. So now let's get into the guts of the Neon exchange. The system will consist of three main components: an off-chain trade matching engine, a smart contract where trades are executed, and a payment service where global assets can be converted to tokens that can be transferred directly by smart contracts. So first, the off-chain matching engine. The off-chain matching engine allows NEX to benefit from the performance advantages of centralized exchanges such as Bitrex, while still maintaining a decentralized user account model. So orders are signed and sent from user addresses to the matching engine, where they are quickly processed using high-performance hardware. Let's take a look at this picture, and it illustrates how it works. First, one user authorizes a trade to exchange token A for token B, and sends the order to the matching engine. Next, the second user authorizes and submits a trade for token B in the exchange for token A. The engine matches the orders and then submits a smart contract for execution. So, this is something big. Because a single invocation transaction on Neo can contain many smart contract calls, the engine can batch a set of match orders in one on-chain transaction. Assuming 1,000 transactions per second, NEX could potentially execute more than 100,000 trades per second on the chain. This is something big from the white paper too. In the future, such batches could adopt match rings to further enhance liquidity. Loop ring! Unlike other existing decentralized exchanges, which only support point-to-point orders, NEX will support many more complex trades such as limit, market, and margin orders. So, the next component of the NEX is the smart contracts for token exchanges. The NEX matching engine communicates with a smart contract that commits trades between users. The smart contract contains logic powered by the NEP5 token standard. The NEX exchange smart contract accepts two parameters: a string indicating the operation performed and a byte array containing serialized data about the usage in the method. The output of the call will be returned as a byte array, with the first byte indicating a success or failure of the call. So the security of the smart contract is very, very sound. It ensures that no third party can execute a fraudulent trade. The trade method of the exchange will only accept orders signed by a private key held by the matching engine. So what's the final component of the NEX? The payment service layer. So the NEX payment service allows Neo smart contracts to interact with assets that live outside the Neo virtual machine. Example, user might want to use the payment service to make transactions across chains, sending Ethereum to Neo smart contracts that then distributes it among their friends' Neo addresses. NEX payment service layer allows Neo smart contracts to interact with UTXO-based global assets such as Neo and Gas, Bitcoin as well. In this PIC, a user deposits Neo in the NEX payment service smart contract, creating a balance of X NEO that can be transferred between smart contracts. The user authorizes a third-party smart contract to access their X NEO. The user then calls that contract, which sends some of the X NEO to another user and authorizes a second smart contract to use the rest. The first smart contract then calls the second smart contract. Finally, the user and the second smart contract withdraw Neo from the payment services according to the X NEO balance. It's a very complicated system, but in my opinion, it's going to work very, very well. And now the final piece, and a very important one. The long-term vision of the decentralized exchange would lead to decentralized banking. NEX enables a long-term vision of decentralized banking through smart contract-based funds, management services, so users can buy assets from conventional services, then interact with them on the Neo blockchain through NEX smart contracts. These assets can also be traded on NEX through NEP5 pairs to enable cross-chain exchanges. Funds stored in the management contracts have access to other services such as indexed investment accounts or peer-to-peer lending. So, decentralized banking, as I've talked about before with Monets, is going to be huge in the future. Now that Neo's getting in on it, it's a very, very big thing. So let's look at the utility of the NEX token. So the token allows holders to claim a share of fees generated by the payment and services of the NEX exchange. You have to stake your NEX in a smart contract via the stake method, and that records the starting block and the amount sent. The user then can make periodic claims on the smart contract to retrieve their share of the NEX profits. There will be a total of 50 million tokens issued, and the token sale will be held in the first quarter of 2018. 25 million of the tokens will be sold to the public, and 50 million or 25 million will be held by the team. So NEX is a major part of the Neo smart economy, a decentralized exchange allowing cross-chain interoperability between Ethereum and Neo is going to be very big, especially with UTXO based assets such as Neo and Gas. As we know, Bitcoin is as well, Komodo. There's many out there that are based on UTXO, Bidem. So by creating a exchange that's able to communicate not only between Ethereum's ERC20, NEP5, UTXO, the possibilities with this exchange are limitless, and I definitely will be participating in the ICO if it's possible. If not, I'm going to be buying the tokens right when they hit exchanges. So thank you, viewers, for watching this episode of Crypto in a Cold One with Trout Slayer. I'm about to pound it right now, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.